From staircase to stage. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Marv. If you're rocking with this content, go ahead and smash that like button. Also subscribe. But as you can see, I attended the Wu-Tang Final Tour concert in Boston a couple of weeks back, and here's what went down. But first, I want to open this up by saying I don't really go to concerts all that often. Now, I know this may sound crazy considering I'm a big music head, but I just don't. Who knows though? Maybe after this experience, that might change. So I had the opportunity to visit some friends who live in Boston and to go to this concert, and I couldn't turn that down because Wu-Tang helped raise me, just like Wu-Tang probably helped raise many of you. So I couldn't miss out on that experience. But before I talk about the actual performance, I do want to point out what I observed before the show began. After quickly scanning the crowd, I did come to the realization, and it's really a simple one, but it really hit me in that moment. I came to the realization just how old Wu-Tang actually is. I thought about how long they've been around, even though there were some younger people in attendance, how old some of the fans were, and how old I actually am. Well, I don't really feel that old, but I suppose it's just a testament to Wu-Tang's legacy that they can bring about such a diverse group of fans of various ages and various backgrounds in one setting, because there were a lot of different aesthetics in the building. Now, Run the Jewels opened for them, and LP and Killer Mike are super dope live. They came through with that electrifying energy. I don't necessarily get as hyped for Run the Jewels as I might have other groups, but I can't front on their performance. They definitely killed it. But getting right into the actual Wu-Tang show, I gotta say, it lived up to my expectations. If I had to give it a mic rating, I'd say it was like a 4.5 mics. I'm also mindful, though, that I can't really compare it to much since I don't really go to concerts, for some context. So as far as Wu-Tang performing the songs that were expected, they definitely did, and they delivered in a big way. They touched upon their classic group tracks, and they even went through their solo material to please the crowd. So I don't have any complaints, with what they performed. I mean, the energy in the TD Garden seemed to be pretty crazy, at least from where I stood. Now, if I were to rate individual performances from the clan, I would say there were three standout members at this Boston show. That was Method Man, RZA, and Young Dirty Bastard. So starting off with YDB, his performance was super lit. He brought that wild, zany energy. Now, obviously, you can't fully substitute Old Dirty Bastard's presence, but the closest thing you can do is to bring in YDB. And I think it's super dope that he was touring with the Wu members, because in the past, let's be real, there have been some rappers, kids who rap, who don't get that love. So that was positive to see YDB getting that exposure. Now, Method Man was easily the star of the show. His stage presence was so on point. He's still clearly very fit, and that's inspirational. On a fitness level, seeing someone as old as Meth still taking care of themselves. The women, of course, still go crazy when he performs. Vocally, he was killing it, and he just seemed to get the crowd amped up the most. RZA also stood out to me, being the head architect. He has to be on point, and he was. The Abbott also brought the energy from spraying champagne into the crowd at just those right moments to even dropping jewels when the mood got more emotional, like during the touching tribute towards the end. Next up for me would be Raekwon. Maybe I'm a little biased since Ray's my favorite, but he definitely came through. After that, I would say Inspector Deck, then Ghostface. Ghostface did appear to look a little irritated at the beginning of the show, but he got more animated as it progressed. At one point, he even grabbed the microphone from RZA, to remind the crowd that his album was scheduled to drop August 8th. This was, of course, after RZA failed to mention that Ghost had an album drop when he only said that Ray was dropping. So That was interesting. I had to wonder though, is that a sign that the Ghost album isn't fully finished, or perhaps worst case scenario, it's not worth promoting? I mean, that would definitely hurt. Hopefully that's not the case. You God came correct enough, and Master Killah did decent, and Capadonna represented, sounding hungry as expected. Now, the hard part for me, if there was one person who I thought would have had a stronger performance, it would have been the GZA. Let me be clear, GZA is a legend, and I've never rocked a show in my life, so I have no clue what it's like. But since I am rating their individual performances here, I would have to say his timing during the show seemed a little off at times, and he didn't appear to be as enthused as other members. I suppose there was a good reason why. But all things considered, this was a very dope and historic show. And I'll just be real, it was that powerful enough for me to even shed a tear on a couple of occasions. I know, I'm getting vulnerable here. They brought Blue Raspberry out, and yes, she was part of the tour, but her singing in those moments, it did something to me. Really emotional stuff on a soulful level. It's hard to describe, but just know that she left Earth vocally like she did on those classic albums that we all know and love. I also believe another reason I did get emotional was because I was seeing the people who I honestly looked up to since I was a kid. I'm finally seeing them on stage. And it was a full circle spiritual type of moment for me in many ways. I don't know if anyone else felt this way. Like, just being able to witness all of the different chambers and Wu-Tang philosophies all being represented on the stage at once. It was really an epic feeling, and I had to say that I felt aligned with my purpose in those particular moments. And since many of us are a little older, it did give me, at least, and likely you, it gave fans some hope, knowing that these artists, who are mostly in their 50s, are still relevant and still putting out music that's anticipated. It's truly great to know that these legends aren't washed, because it's been well documented that Method Man has been bodying features for the last several years. I mean, that solo album should eventually drop, we hope. And Raekwon released his new album, The Emperor's New Clothes, this past Friday. You gotta check that out if you haven't. Also, please check out the review I did. That album, I'm not saying is flawless, but it's one of the better projects released so far this year. And Ghostface is scheduled to drop allegedly in a couple of weeks with Supreme Clientel 2. So I'm sure that the expectations from some fans will likely be through the roof, since Ray was able to deliver with Only Built for Cuban Links 2. Let's just hope that it's at least on the level of Cuban Links 2 in terms of overall quality. That's, I think, what the majority of fans would just ask for. So yeah, it felt great to celebrate their classic songs live, but also to experience this new wave or new chamber of what Wu-Tang has going on currently and into the upcoming months. Everything just felt so in sync and aligned. Now, I do have to talk about how I was slightly disappointed that they didn't bring out any guests in Boston. So with the New York show, there were quite a few legends who came to show love. And for some perspective, of course, that's New York. That's the soil. So they had to do big in New York, but I thought they could have at least brought out someone for the Boston show. I personally would have been happy with guests like Killah Army, Sons of Man, Shaheem, just someone, even Redman. So that did bring my rating down just slightly. And as you can see, with the last show in Philly, they even brought out more big names, but I guess that was because it was the final city of the tour. But yeah, if you were able to attend any of the shows, let me know what your experience was. Was it a little similar, or was it completely different? At the end of the day, though, I was very fortunate that I went. It was surreal, it was powerful, and it was one of the better weekends I've had in a while. Let me know your thoughts below. It's your boy Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out as always. As peace and blessings. Wu-Tang Final Tour. Wu-Tang forever. One.